All right, what up? This is Joe, and from me to you, my guest today, we have Tabeer Sindi. How you doing, Tabeer?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here. And what I'd like to do to kick us off is to get a little bit more background information. Can you kind of share a little bit of background information about maybe your mother, your father, just a little bit of info to kind of let us know a little
Yeah,
bit more about yourself.
absolutely. As you mentioned, my name is Tabeer. Uh, my dad was killed in 1988, so my mom raised me and my brother. My dad had two wives, so I have two other brothers from my dad's side and a sister from my mother's side. It's just me and my brother.
Your parents, so where did they grow up?
Yeah, my parents they grew up in Kurdistan. As I mentioned, my dad was a freedom fighter. In 1988, he got killed by mustard gas by Saddam Hussein's regime, Iraqi regime of that time. And my mother is still alive, so she did grow up in Kurdistan, and she raised us.
I'm going to touch on and my condolences about your father as well.
Thank you.
And I'm going to definitely touch on that a little bit later. So, well, that's interesting information. So, what about yourself? Where were you born?
Yeah, I was born in Kurdistan, which is in northern Iraq, in 1985. I was born in Kurdistan.
All right. So, during that time, in 1985 till the time that before that you came, can you kind of tell me about your childhood, while you were in Iraq or
Yeah,
Kurdistan?
like me and many other friends and family relatives of my age, even younger and older, growing up in Kurdistan, and it wasn't so pleasant because the hardship we have and the conflict we had with the Iraqi regime. Kurds were always oppressed by the Iraqi regime. So my childhood, I would say, just like many other Kurdish kids, was not that great. I remember going to school instead of drawing a flower or something where all kids all kids usually draw with. Kids my age during that time we would draw basically like a tank or a bomb or something because n- that was the reality we lived in during that time because cause we're always oppressed. We were always on the run. So my childhood it was kind of traumatized.
Could you kind of describe like maybe an event that was kind of stuck out to you that was kind of that you feel that was a traumatizing event for you
Yeah.
that you'll always remember?
Yeah, absolutely. In 1988, Saddam Hussein basically committed a genocide against Kurds. Uh, More than 5,000 people were killed in one city alone, the city of Halabja, by mustard gas, by chemical weapon. So during that time in 1988, in in a different city, my dad was killed along with his 13 freedom fighters, which we call them Peshmerga. So I remember it's like a dream for me. I can hardly remember that, but that will always stick with me. I mean, that was the day when my dad was murdered, so it's kind of it has still stuck with me until now.